Just some thoughts on some things I've read today. I don't know if it's the algorithm because of my engagement with these posts, which it could be, but when I'm on Facebook, I seem to be getting a lot of articles come up. I think they're a little bit clickbaity, to be honest, but there's a lot of them are just reiterating the recent change to legislation about livestock worrying. But something I find really distressing is the volume of comments of people just saying keep your dogs on a lead all the time. Now, there are areas in the UK where there are restrictions. You need to have your dog on a lead, and in the right place, I think that's completely appropriate. You know, National Trust property or something, or beach and height of summer. You don't want dogs running around in your picnic or whatever. I get that. I've literally no issue with that at all. But dogs on lead all the time, I have a huge issue with, because either I think people are so divorced from what a dog is as to realise that a dog needs time off lead to exercise. It's very hard to do that. I mean, some dogs will be fine, but on a long line, very hard. Look how Missy is moving freely through the forest at the moment. She couldn't get this on lead. Now, so the other options for me, if this were to ever become a law, would be get very rich overnight and buy myself a house with a big garden. Even then, a garden has nothing on the sort of enrichment that walking here would have for her. Hire a secure field, which again, higher risk of catching diseases from other dogs, terribly boring for a hunting dog, no smells, nothing there. And yeah, again, it's going to cost money. So it feels very elitist to me, that sort of attitude. So yeah, it's one of two things. I think people have forgotten what dogs are, or they think you need to have bags of money. So for me, I 100% would not be getting one of these breeds if they made that law, because I don't think she'd have the quality of life. Now I'm probably going to contradict myself by probably not being able to get her back. Oh dear, this could possibly be the worst timing ever. Here she comes, come on. She's nowhere near that deer, by the way. Here! Sit. Good. Sit. Good. Sit. Sit. I should put her on the lead just while I natter. Sit. One second. Right, I'm just going to put her in a sit for a while. This video might never see the light of day on account of what I just managed to catch there. So, what happened there was she was off hunting. She was out of my sight. Some recommendations for control of dogs in a public place will say that you must keep your dog within sight. Again, I think practically impossible. Even if I had a spaniel in here within 6 feet, they'd be out of sight. Sit. But the actual letter of the law is to keep them under control. Now, she came back. I suspect from the delay in her coming back that she had smelt that deer. That was a single deer, not well, we saw a single, who knows what else was out there. So I expect that was the delay, and then obviously you heard me blow her up hard to get her back. I don't know that she 100% saw the deer the same time we saw the deer. I'm going to have to watch the footage back. But she came off it pretty quick. She came back pretty quick. I don't think, certainly in that instance, it wasn't like she was hot on the tail of that deer. Yeah, so this is what we're dealing with. But this is like a real dog. I strongly believe she would not be catching a deer. I don't think she could keep up with it for starters. But also, I've blown her off with a whistle, pulled her off deer several times, and she comes off them. She'll pursue for maybe 25 metres max, something like that, and then she'll come off. I genuinely don't believe she's like a threat to life or well-being of a deer, other than obviously a deer being chased is distressing for that deer, and you don't really know the implications of that. Pregnant doe or something, or might make it leave its young. I don't know. You just don't know, do you? But just for a bit of context with the deer here where we are, we have no shortage of these. They are culled. They are eaten. We eat a lot of these deer. The meat is free range. It is more or less organic, I would imagine. I can't see how anything else would get in its system. It spends all its day outside in the sunshine in actually what I consider to be heaven, so can't get a much better life than that. So that's why we eat a lot of them. I'm not saying that makes it okay to chase the deer because we eat it, because that doesn't ring true for livestock, obviously. However, I just think that's important context. I guess I just struggle. I struggle with my feelings a lot about these hunting breeds, in particular my experience. I mean, my frame of reference is tiny. I have one HPR, but obviously I speak to a lot of other people with these dogs, and it's in their DNA. It's what we bred into them. Should we not have them here? Perhaps they're unsuitable for our modern lifestyle, and that's actually what it comes down to. Personally, for the rest of this girlie's life, as long as I feel it's safe, and it's just working out where that judgment is, she will have off-lead exercise, because I just think it would be cruel for an animal that kind of has this, what presents itself to me as like just a genetic need to run, to smell, to cover ground, to be stimulated in that way. The rest of the day I'm asking her to asking her to be polite in the house and to not bother me while I work. So she normally would just sleep, or in the summer sometimes she goes and just lies outside and watches the birds or whatever, comes in and out a bit. But we have a postage-sized garden, and all of her exercise takes place outside of the house. So yeah, I mean, what's more cruel? Is it more cruel for a deer to be, I don't know, in her lifetime, maybe she'll chase a dozen deer. I think in her lifetime so far, 3, 4, something like that. Maybe I'm underestimating it. Maybe it's as many as half a dozen already, and in her lifetime might be more like a dozen or 16 or something. So is that a price that's acceptable to pay for the welfare of a pet that, let's face it, I don't need this dog on many levels? Yes, she helps me in huge ways, but it's not a necessity, so yeah, really something I think about a lot. Do we Do we just let our, our breeds that were bred to hunt and our breeds that are bred to work with us die out because we don't need that ability anymore, and because our sensibilities to wildlife, the welfare of other wildlife has changed? So do we just say, it was nice knowing you, English setters, English pointers, Cocker Spaniels, Springer Spaniels, Vizslas, Weimaranas, Spinonis, Braccos, I could go on and on, the list is endless. Do we just sort of give them up to history and say, what we designed you for is no longer necessary in today's society? We're all going to get, I don't even know what a more companionable, less prey-driven dog might be in terms of wildlife. Ironically, my gut feeling, only from my own experience, is it could be a bull breed, which, because they were bred to fight, but they were also bred to be quite amenable in towns and cities, because they'd have to obviously hang out in the daytime. So they're not, used, excuse me as I go through the bush, used for hunting game. But yeah, the irony of that being that bull breed's probably the most unpopular at the moment, and that's due to a bit of dog-on-dog aggression and some breeding for other traits, where it's all gone a bit sideways, i.e. looks and size, so not temperament. So yeah, I don't know what the correct modern ideal dog that's meant to fit in with all of these expectations, does it even exist? Or is it no dogs? Is it we've gone that far, we don't want to have an impact? Wildlife's become so precious. We've had such a been a detrimental force on the planet as humans, and this domestication of the hound, of the wolf, perhaps that's that entire thing. Is it just no longer working out with society? Because I sure as hell don't have a solution to this, and I do suspect a lot of people saying all dogs on leashes at all times just don't have a clue about what some of these dogs, what we've made them for, and how they're wired, and what keeps them happy. Anyway, rant over for now. I'm going to try not to be triggered anymore. Let her have a little potter back to the edge of the enclosure now. Sit. Break. Interesting. I think she's gone back to look. I'll walk on a bit and call her on in a minute. There's certainly nothing in there because we just walked through that way, so we would have pushed it all out. Here she comes. Fruitless. Anyway, off I go. Apparently, very irresponsible owner.